The starship Horizon Seeker moved slowly through the empty space of an unexplored sector. Captain Tay sat in his command chair, watching the stars on the main screen. His gray skin looked blue under the soft ship lights. After 20 years of space travel, he thought he had seen everything. He was wrong. "Captain, I'm picking up unusual energy readings," said June, the science officer. His long fingers moved quickly over the control panel. "There's a small blue planet in this system. It's not in our database." Tay walked over to June's station. "Show me." The screen changed to show a blue and green planet with white clouds. It looked peaceful from a distance. The ship's computer began to analyze the planet's conditions. "That can't be right," June said, his large eyes blinking rapidly. "The computer must be broken." "What's wrong?" asked Tay. "The computer says this is a Class 13 death world." June's voice was barely a whisper. The bridge went silent. Everyone knew what that meant. In the Galactic Federation's classification system, planets were rated from Class 1, paradise worlds, to Class 13, completely uninhabitable death traps. Most Federation species came from Class 3 or 4 worlds. Anything above Class 7 was considered too dangerous for regular visits. "Run the scan again," ordered Tay. June did as he was told. The result was the same. "Class 13 confirmed," he reported. "The gravity is crushing, nearly twice what we're used to. The oxygen levels would be toxic to us. The planet has extreme temperature variations, constant radiation from its sun, and widespread microorganisms. There are large predators on every continent, and the weather." June shook his head. "The planet regularly experiences hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions. No intelligent life could evolve in such conditions," said Tay. "It's impossible." "Wait," June said suddenly. "I'm detecting artificial signals, radio waves, digital transmissions. Captain, there's a civilization down there." Tay couldn't believe. "Are you sure?" "Yes. And these aren't primitive signals. They're complex, structured. Whoever lives down there has advanced technology." The captain made a quick decision. "Move us closer, but keep our shields up. I want visual data." The Horizon Seeker entered orbit around the blue planet. The crew watched in amazement as the computer displayed images of cities, roads, and vehicles. The beings who built them looked strange. They had no protective scales or exoskeletons, just soft skin. They walked upright on 2 legs and had only 2 arms. "They look so fragile," said Tay. "How can they survive there?" June studied the data. According to these readings, they're carbon-based life forms. They call themselves humans and their planet Earth. Their bodies are mostly water with internal skeletons made of calcium. "They should be crushed by their own planet's gravity," said Tay. "That's not all," continued June. "They breathe oxygen, not just tolerate it, but require it. Their bodies are constantly fighting against microscopic invaders. They can survive in temperatures from well below freezing to uncomfortably hot, and they eat almost anything." The crew watched videos of humans going about their daily lives. They saw them swimming in oceans filled with predators. They saw them climbing mountains with their bare hands. They saw them running for hours under the deadly radiation of their sun. "How do they do it?" asked Tay. "They evolved there," said June simply. "What's a death world to us is home to them." Tay sent a message to the Galactic Council, reporting their discovery. The response came quickly. "Make contact. Evaluate for potential Federation membership. Use extreme caution." Tay gathered his senior officers in the meeting room. "We need to prepare for first contact," he said. "This will be challenging. We're about to meet beings who consider a Class 13 death world normal." "How will we even communicate with them?" asked the communications officer. "Our translator systems have analyzed their broadcasts," said June. "We've identified several major languages. The most widespread are English, Mandarin, Spanish, and Hindi." "What about their political structure?" asked Tay. "Complex," said June. "They have hundreds of separate nations rather than a single planetary government. The largest and most technologically Advanced include entities called the United States, China, European Union, and India. Tai considered this information. We'll need to approach them carefully. These humans have evolved in conditions that would kill any of us in minutes. Their bodies must be incredibly strong and resilient by our standards. Should we consider them dangerous? Asked the security chief. All unknown species are potentially dangerous, said Tai. But these humans have survived on a world that would kill most species. That requires not just physical strength, but intelligence and adaptability. We should approach with respect, not fear. The crew spent 3 days preparing for contact. They studied human languages, cultures, and behaviors. They modified their environmental suits to withstand Earth's harsh conditions. They selected a landing site in a nation called South Korea, chosen for its advanced technology and stable government. As the landing craft prepared to descend, Tai felt both excited and nervous. In his 20 years of space exploration, he had never encountered a species like humans, beings who considered living on a Class 13 death world normal. Send the greeting message, he ordered. The ship broadcast a simple message in several human languages. We come in peace from the stars. We wish to meet and learn from you. The responses flooded in almost immediately. Humans were shocked, frightened, excited, and curious. Their leaders scrambled to organize a response. Some wanted to welcome the visitors, others warned of potential danger. Finally, a unified message came back. We welcome peaceful contact. We have prepared a meeting site. Please follow the coordinates provided. As the landing craft descended through Earth's atmosphere, the crew felt the increased gravity pushing them into their seats. The air pressure readouts climbed to alarming levels. Outside, fierce winds buffeted the ship. How do they live like this? Muttered the pilot. Tai had no answer. He watched through the view screen as they approached a large open area surrounded by human vehicles and structures. Crowds of humans were held back by barriers. They looked small from above, but Tai knew they were incredibly resilient beings. The craft landed gently. Tai checked his environmental suit one last time. Remember, he told his crew, we're about to meet beings who consider this death world home. They may look fragile, but they've evolved to survive conditions that would kill us instantly. Show respect at all times. Tai took a deep breath of filtered air and nodded to the crew. Open the door, he ordered. Let's meet the humans. The door slid open, revealing the bright sunlight of planet Earth. Captain Tai took the first step toward a new chapter in galactic history, the day the Federation met the Deathworlders. Minji stared at her reflection in the mirror. She adjusted her dark blue suit one last time. Today she would meet real aliens. The thought made her stomach feel tight. 1 week ago, she had been a normal diplomat working for the Korean Foreign Ministry. Then the aliens came. Their ships appeared in the sky and everything changed. World leaders quickly picked people to meet the visitors. Because of her calm personality and language skills, Minji was chosen to be Earth's ambassador. Are you ready, Ms. Minji? Asked her assistant from outside the door. Yes, she said, though she didn't feel ready at all. A car took Minji to the special building built for the alien meeting. Soldiers stood guard everywhere. News reporters crowded behind barriers trying to get pictures. The whole world was watching. Inside the building, Minji met with the human welcome team. Scientists, military officers, and government officials all looked as nervous as she felt. The alien ship will land in 30 minutes, said General Park. Remember your training. Stay calm. Don't make sudden movements. And don't touch them. We don't know what might harm them. Minji nodded. She had spent days learning about proper meeting behavior. No one knew what the aliens would be like or what they might find offensive. The team moved to the main meeting room. Large windows looked out to the landing area. The spring day was beautiful, sunny with a light breeze, about 20 degrees Celsius. Scientist's voice came through the radio. Alien craft entering atmosphere now. Everyone watched the sky. Soon a silver ship appeared, moving slowly down to the landing pad. It was smooth and oval-shaped, with no sharp edges. It landed without a sound. For a few minutes nothing happened. Then a door opened on the side of the ship. A ramp extended to the ground. The first alien appeared. It wore what looked like a full-body spacesuit with a clear helmet. Inside, Minji could see a gray face with large, dark eyes. The alien moved, slowly and carefully as if each step was difficult. 4 more aliens followed the first one. They all wore similar protective suits. They walked with obvious effort down the ramp. "They're struggling with our gravity," whispered a scientist next to Minji. The aliens approached the building. Guards opened the doors, and the alien group entered the meeting room. Up close, Minji could see the aliens better. They were shorter than most humans, about 150 centimeters tall. Their bodies were thin, with long arms that had 3 fingers on each hand. Their heads were slightly larger than human heads, with no hair and large dark eyes. "Welcome to Earth," said Minji, bowing slightly. "I am Minji, representing the people of Earth." The lead alien stepped forward. Its voice came through a speaker on its suit. "I am Captain Tay of the Galactic Federation vessel, Horizon Seeker. We are honored to meet you." The alien voice sounded musical but tired. Minji noticed how carefully they all moved. "Are you uncomfortable?" she asked. "We want you to feel welcome here." Captain Tay's large eyes blinked rapidly. "Your planet's conditions are challenging for us. The gravity is much stronger than we are used to. Your atmosphere would be poisonous to our bodies. Even your temperature, which feels comfortable to you, is quite warm for us." Minji felt surprised. She had never thought of Earth as a harsh place. "I'm sorry for your discomfort. Would you like to sit down?" The aliens carefully sat in the specially built chairs. Even this simple movement seemed to tire them. "We come from worlds very different from yours," explained Captain Tay. "What you consider normal would kill most Federation species within minutes without protection." One of the aliens, introduced as Science Officer June, spoke up. "Your world is classified as a Class 13 death world in our system. It is the most extreme environment where we have found intelligent life." The human officials looked at each other in confusion. "Death world?" asked General Park. "What does that mean?" "It means your planet has conditions that most galactic species consider deadly," said June. "High gravity, oxygen-rich atmosphere, extreme temperatures, dangerous wildlife, powerful weather, and constant radiation from your sun." Minji felt strange. She had never thought of sunlight as radiation or oxygen as poison. The meeting continued with basic information exchange. The aliens explained about the Galactic Federation, a group of over 300 intelligent species who work together to explore space. During the meeting, one of the human scientists sneezed. The sound made all the aliens jump in fear. "What was that?" asked Captain Tay, his voice shaking. "Just a sneeze," said Minji. "It's nothing dangerous." "You released microorganisms into the air," said June, checking readings on his suit. "Your bodies constantly fight microscopic invaders that would kill most species. Your immune systems are remarkably strong." Minji tried to keep the meeting on track, but she noticed the aliens watching every human movement with a mixture of fear and amazement. When a staff member brought in water and snacks, he accidentally bumped the table, knocking over an empty glass. Without thinking, Minji caught it before it hit the floor, moving quickly. All the aliens froze. "How did you move so fast?" asked Captain Tay. Minji was confused. "I just caught a glass." "Your reaction speed and coordination are exceptional," said June. "In our gravity, such movement would be much slower." When it was time for a break, Minji noticed the meeting room was getting warm. She walked over to open a window. "Allow me to help," said an assistant. "It's fine," said Minji. She pushed open the heavy window with one hand. The aliens watched in silence. Later, June quietly asked permission to scan the window. When he did, he turned to Captain Tay and spoke in their language. The captain's eyes widened. "Is something wrong?" asked Minji. "That window," said Captain Tay. "It weighs approximately 25 of your kilograms. You moved it with one hand with no visible effort." "It's just a window," said Minji, feeling confused again. "On our worlds, moving such a weight would require mechanical assistance or at least significant effort," explained June. "Your muscles have developed under this crushing gravity. To us, you appear to have supernatural strength." By the end of The first meeting, Minji understood that humans and the Federation aliens saw the world very differently. What was normal to her was extreme to them. What was easy for humans was impossible for them. As the aliens prepared to return to their ship, Captain Tay spoke to Minji privately. "You should know," he said, "that many in the Federation will be afraid of humans when they learn about you. You have evolved in conditions that would kill most of us instantly. Your bodies are incredibly strong, fast, and resilient by our standards. Some will see you as dangerous." "We're not dangerous," said Minji. "We're just human." "I know," said Captain Tay. "That's why I hope our peoples can become friends. The Federation has never met a species like yours before, beings who call a Class 13 death world home." As the aliens departed, Minji watched their ship rise into the sky. She thought about how strange it was to learn that her normal world was considered a death world by the rest of the galaxy. She wondered what would happen when more humans learned this truth. Earth was not average or normal. In the eyes of the galaxy, humans were the monsters who thrived where others would die. 3 months after the first meeting on Earth, a special human ship approached the Galactic Federation station. The station was huge, a spinning wheel in space with many docking arms extending outward. Hundreds of alien ships from different worlds moved around it. Inside the human ship, Dr. Hyun checked his team one last time. As an anthropologist who had studied many human cultures, he was chosen to lead this first cultural exchange mission. His team included 10 specialists from different fields: science, art, medicine, and technology. "Remember," he told them, "we're going to a place built for beings who find our normal environment deadly. Be patient and careful. What is easy for us might be impossible for them." The team nodded. They had all been through months of training for this mission. They understood what was at stake. The future relationship between Earth and the Galactic Federation depended on this exchange. There, ship docked with the station, Federation engineers had built a special section just for humans. It had Earth-like gravity, air pressure, and oxygen levels. The rest of the station would feel to humans like being underwater while standing on a mountaintop. Captain Tay and his crew waited to greet the humans. They wore their protective suits but looked more relaxed than during their Earth visit. "Welcome to Federation Station Alpha," said Captain Tay. "We are honored by your visit." Dr. Hyun bowed slightly. "Thank you for your welcome. We are excited to learn about your cultures and share our own." The human team followed Captain Tay through airlocks that separated the human section from the rest of the station. Signs in many languages, including Earth languages, marked the walls. "These are the exchange rooms," explained Captain Tay. "Representatives from 20 Federation species are waiting to meet you." The next days were filled with meetings and presentations. The humans explained Earth history, showed art and music, and demonstrated technology. The Federation species shared their own cultures in return. Dr. Hyun noticed how carefully the aliens watched every human movement. When he picked up a heavy data tablet with one hand, nearby aliens stepped back slightly. When he jumped to reach something on a high shelf, they gasped at how high he could leap in the station's gravity. During a meal, an alien visitor named Lori from a water world asked about Earth animals. "Is it true you have creatures called tigers and bears that can kill humans?" she asked, her blue skin rippling with what Dr. Hyun recognized as fear. "Yes," said Dr. Hyun. "Earth has many dangerous animals, but most live in protected areas now. Our cities are safe." "And you share a planet with them?" asked another alien. "By choice?" Dr. Hyun found it hard to explain that humans had evolved alongside these animals. To the Federation species, who came from worlds with few predators, the idea of Earth's ecosystem seemed nightmarish. The biggest surprise came during the medical exchange. Dr. Sue, a human physician, met with Federation medical experts. She showed them basic human medical procedures. "This is how we repair broken bones," she explained, showing images of human surgery. "The bone will heal completely in 6 to 8 weeks. The alien doctors looked shocked. "Your bones regrow?" asked the lead Federation doctor, a tall being with 6 arms. "Of course," said Dr. Sue. "Don't yours?" "No species in the Federation can regrow hard tissue so quickly," explained the alien doctor. "Most cannot regrow it at all. If one of us broke a major bone, we would need an artificial replacement." Dr. Sue then explained how human skin heals after cuts, how the immune system fights disease, and how humans can survive the loss of certain organs or even parts of vital organs. With each explanation, the Federation doctors grew more amazed. What seemed normal to Dr. Sue appeared miraculous to them. "Your medical technology must be very advanced," said a small green alien. "Actually," said Dr. Sue, "much of our medicine focuses on helping the body heal itself. Your technology is more advanced than ours in many ways. But your bodies," said the Federation doctor, "they're designed to survive on a death world. They can repair damage that would kill any of us." On the 5th day of the exchange, an emergency occurred. A small explosion damaged part of the station. Warning alarms sounded, and the station's gravity briefly failed. Dr. Hyun and his team were in a meeting when it happened. They floated off their chairs but quickly grabbed handholds on the walls. The Federation representatives panicked, spinning helplessly in the air. "Stay calm," called Dr. Hyun. He pushed himself across the room and helped an alien who was floating near a sharp edge. Other humans did the same, moving confidently in zero gravity. The station's emergency systems came online, but there was damage to the life support in one section. Station workers struggled to fix it. Many were tired after just an hour of emergency work. "We can help," offered Dr. Hyun. "My team is trained for emergencies." The station commander hesitated, but then agreed. The human team worked for 5 hours straight, helping to repair damaged systems. They worked in environments that Federation engineers found exhausting, crawling through narrow spaces, lifting heavy equipment, and enduring temperature changes. When the crisis was over, the station commander called a meeting with Captain Tae and Dr. Hyun. "Your people worked for 5 hours without rest," said the commander. "In conditions our workers could only handle for 1 hour at a time. How is this possible?" "We're used to changing conditions," explained Dr. Hyun. "On Earth, we often deal with emergencies." "Because your world regularly tries to kill you," said Captain Tae. He turned to the commander. "This is what I reported after visiting Earth. Humans don't just survive on a death world, they thrive there. What would exhaust or kill us is normal for them." The station commander looked at Dr. Hyun with new respect. "The Federation has always valued peace and cooperation, but we've never met a species with your physical capabilities. Some will fear you." "We come as friends," said Dr. Hyun. "Earth may be what you call a death world, but it taught us to value life because it can be fragile. We want to join the galactic community, not threaten it." Later that night, Dr. Hyun wrote in his journal, "Today I learned that humans are considered incredible by galactic standards. What we take for granted, our strength, our healing, our endurance, seems like superpowers to them. Their fear is understandable. They evolved on gentle worlds, while Earth pushed us to be tough just to survive. My greatest challenge now is showing them that strength doesn't have to be threatening. It can also protect." As he looked out the window at the stars, Dr. Hyun wondered how this new understanding would change humanity's place in the galaxy. For the first time, humans were seeing themselves through alien eyes, as the remarkable creatures who called a Class 13 death world home. 1 year had passed since first contact between humans and the Galactic Federation. Earth had changed in many ways. New technologies from the Federation helped solve problems like pollution and disease. In return, humans shared their art, music, and unique perspectives with the galaxy. Captain Jin stood on the bridge of the Resilience, Earth's first true starship. It was built with Federation help but designed by humans. The ship was stronger than standard Federation vessels. It carried humans who needed Earth-like conditions to live. "Captain, we're receiving an emergency message from Federation Command," said the communications officer. Jin nodded. "Put it through." The screen showed a Federation official. The alien looked worried, its skin a pale blue instead of the normal purple. "Captain Jin, we need your help," said the official. "The Vex have attacked Outpost Sigma. Federation forces are overwhelmed. Your ship is the closest that can respond." Jin knew about the Vex. They were a hostile species that had appeared at the edges of Federation space 6 months ago. Silicon-based life forms from an extreme environment, they saw other species as resources to be used, not as people. "Send the coordinates," said Jin. "We'll head there immediately." The Resilience changed course, pushing its engines to maximum speed. Jin called his senior officers to the meeting room. "The Vex have attacked a Federation outpost," he told them. "We're the only help within reach." "Why us?" asked the weapons officer. "We're just one ship." "Because we're human," said Jin simply. "The Vex evolved on a world similar to Earth. Hot, high gravity, with toxic chemicals in the air. Federation species can't fight them effectively. But we can." The crew understood. After a year of contact with the Federation, humans had learned that their normal was exceptional in the galaxy. What seemed like basic human abilities, strength, speed, endurance, were rare and valuable. "We'll reach the outpost in 6 hours, said Jin. "Prepare for battle." When the Resilience arrived at Outpost Sigma, they found 3 Vex ships attacking a small station. The station's shields were failing. Escape pods fled toward a nearby moon. "Hail the Vex ships," ordered. Jin's response came quickly. The screen showed a Vex, a creature with dark red, rock-like skin and 6 glowing eyes. "Another Federation ship comes to die," said the Vex in a harsh voice. "Wait your turn. We will destroy you after the station." "This is Captain Jin of Earth ship Resilience," said Jin calmly. "We are not typical Federation members. Leave this outpost or face the consequences." The Vex made a sound like grinding stones, their version of laughter. "Earth? The new world that joined the weak Federation? You do not frighten us." The connection ended. The Vex ships continued firing at the station. "They don't know about humans yet," said Jin to his crew. "That gives us an advantage. Battle stations. Unlike Federation ships, which relied on automated systems, the Resilience had human operators at every key position. Humans could make quick decisions that computers might miss. They could improvise in ways artificial intelligence couldn't. "Understand. Target the lead Vex ship's engines," ordered Jin. "Fire when ready." The Resilience moved forward faster and more aggressively than any Federation ship would dare. The Vex, used to fighting the cautious Federation, weren't prepared for human tactics. The battle was fierce. The Vex ships were powerful, but they fought with predictable patterns. The humans adapted quickly, finding weaknesses in Vex shielding and exploiting them. "Their ships are designed for their environment," said the science officer. "They keep internal temperatures at over 60 degrees Celsius. If we can damage their cooling systems, it might force them to retreat." Jin nodded. "Focus fire on these points." He marked areas on the tactical display. After 30 minutes of intense fighting, 1 Vex ship exploded. Another turned away, badly damaged. The 3rd continued attacking, but now it targeted the Resilience instead of the station. "They're trying to board us," warned the security chief as the Vex ship moved alongside. "They've locked onto our hull." Jin smiled grimly. "Good. Let them come." The security teams prepared at potential entry points. Unlike Federation security forces, human teams carried physical weapons alongside energy ones. Experience had taught humans that sometimes simple solutions worked best. When the Vex cut through the hull, they expected easy victory. What they found were humans in combat armor ready for them. The Vex were strong, evolved on a high-gravity world like Earth, but they had never faced creatures with human reflexes and adaptability. What followed shocked even the Vex. Human security teams moved with coordination that the Vex couldn't match. When energy weapons overheated, humans switched to physical weapons without hesitation. When Vex tried to use their superior strength, they discovered humans were nearly as strong and far more agile. Jin led a counterboarding team onto the Vex ship. The environment was extreme. hot, with toxic gases and heavy gravity. Federation species would die in minutes without special equipment. Humans in environmental suits could function for hours. "This is their command center," said Jin as his team reached a large room deep in the Vex ship. "Plant the special package here." The package was a simple device with a powerful message. It would broadcast images of Earth, showing its storms, volcanoes, predators, and natural disasters. It would show humans thriving in these conditions. Most importantly, it would explain that Earth was classified as a Class 13 death world, just as harsh as the Vex homeworld. When the last Vex ship retreated, Federation representatives contacted the Resilience. "You did the impossible," said the Federation commander. "No one has ever defeated the Vex in direct combat before." "We had an advantage," explained Jin. "We evolved in conditions similar to theirs. What makes them strong makes us strong too, but we have something they don't." "What's that?" asked the Federation commander. "Competition," said Jin. "On Earth we evolved competing with countless other species. We had to be smart, not just strong. The Vex never had that challenge." The Federation commander's eyes showed new understanding. "So a death world can create not just physical strength but mental adaptability." "Yes," said Jin, "and humanity is ready to use both to help protect the Federation." News of the human victory spread quickly through the galaxy. Federation species that had feared humans now saw them differently, not as potential threats, but as protectors. In his cabin, Captain Jin recorded a message to send back to Earth. "Today we showed the galaxy what humans can do. For the first time, the Vex encountered a species that understands harsh worlds. They didn't expect us to be as strong as them, as resistant to extreme conditions and more adaptable. They retreated not just because we fought well, but because we showed them we come from a world just as deadly as theirs. The galaxy is changing. Its view of Earth and humans. We're no longer seen as strange creatures from a death world. We're now seen as guardians who can face threats that others cannot." As the Resilience set course for the nearest Federation base for repairs, Jin looked at his crew with pride. Humans had found their place in the galaxy, not despite coming from a Class 13 death world, but because of it. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was filled with representatives from hundreds of worlds. The curved walls displayed moving images of stars and planets. The air was kept at a neutral temperature that most species could tolerate, though many wore environmental suits for comfort. Today was important. The Council had called an emergency meeting to discuss humanity's place in the Federation after the battle with the Vex. News of how one human ship defeated 3 Vex vessels had spread across the galaxy. Minji sat quietly in the human section. In the years since first contact, she had become Earth's official ambassador to the Federation. Today, she would speak for all humanity. Next to her sat Captain Tay, who had first discovered Earth. He looked nervous. His skin had changed from gray to a lighter blue color, which Minji had learned meant he was worried. "Are you okay?" she asked quietly. "Many council members are afraid," said Tay. "The Vex were considered unstoppable until you fought them. Now they fear that power in human hands." Minji understood. Fear often came before understanding. The head counselor, a tall being with glowing skin, called the meeting to order. "We gathered today to discuss the status of Earth and humanity within our Federation. Recent events have raised important questions about classification and role." Various representatives spoke. Some praised humans for defending Federation outposts. Others expressed concern about having Deathworlders with such physical capabilities as full members. A representative from a water world spoke with bubbling sounds that the translators turned into words. "We must remember that humans evolved on their harsh world through no choice of their own. They are what their planet made them. Should we fear them for that?" "We should fear any species that can defeat the Vex in direct combat," countered another representative. "Such power must be controlled." The debate continued for hours. Minji listened carefully, noting which species supported humans and which feared them. Finally, the head counselor called on her to speak. Minji walked to the central platform. The entire council went quiet. They all knew she could probably lift the speaking podium with one hand if she wanted to. "Respected council members," she began. "I hear your concerns about humans. I understand your fear. But I want to tell you something important. We don't consider ourselves special." She paused to let the translators work. "Everything that seems extraordinary about humans, our strength, our endurance, our healing abilities, is simply what we needed to survive on Earth. We didn't choose to evolve on a Class 13 world. It's just our home." She showed images of Earth on the hall screens. Children playing in parks, farmers working fields, doctors helping patients. This is everyday life on our death world. Yes, Earth has dangers. We have storms that can destroy cities. We have diseases that can kill millions. We have predators that can hunt humans. But these challenges taught us important lessons. Minji showed new images. People rebuilding after disasters, working together during crises, helping each other. Earth taught us that strength means nothing without compassion. Survival means nothing without cooperation. Earth didn't just make us physically strong, it showed us that working together is how we truly survive. The council listened silently. Some of you fear we might use our physical abilities against the Federation. But think about this. If we wanted conquest, would we have joined you peacefully? Would we have shared our science, art, and culture? Would we have sent our ships to protect your outposts? Minji looked directly at the representatives who had spoken against humans. We don't want to rule. We want to contribute. We want to help. The same adaptations that let us survive on Earth can now help protect the Federation. When Minji finished, Captain Tay stood to speak. "Honored Council, I was the first to discover humans. I remember my fear when I realized beings were living on a Class 13 death world. But in the time since, I've learned that humans are more than their physical capabilities." He showed his own images, humans helping Federation scientists, sharing medical knowledge, teaching Federation engineers about repair techniques that worked under harsh conditions. Humans don't just survive in extreme conditions. They find ways to thrive. They create art and music while living on a world that constantly challenges them. They build societies based on cooperation, not just strength. Captain Tay finished with a bold proposal. "I suggest we create a new classification for species like humans, not death worlders, which sounds frightening, but guardian species, those uniquely adapted to protect others against threats from extreme environments." The council erupted in discussion. Some immediately supported the idea. Others argued against it. The debate lasted for days. Finally, the head counselor called for a vote. The results appeared on the great screens. The proposal passed by a narrow margin. After the vote, a new era began. Federation scientists started working with humans to develop technologies that combined human resilience with Federation knowledge. Special training programs taught Federation species how to work alongside humans in emergency situations. Most importantly, the Federation began to see that environmental challenges created different, but equally valuable evolutionary paths. Species from gentle worlds developed cooperation and complex social structures. Species from harsh worlds developed physical resilience and problem-solving under pressure. Together, they were stronger than either would be alone. 6 months after the council meeting, Minji stood in the observation deck of Earth's second starship, the Harmony. Next to her stood representatives from 10 Federation worlds. They were watching Earth from orbit. "It looks so peaceful from here," said a Federation diplomat. "Hard to believe it's a Class 13 world." "Every world has beauty and danger," said Minji. "The trick is finding the balance between them." The Harmony was about to depart on a mission to regions previously considered too dangerous for Federation exploration. Its crew included both humans and Federation species, each contributing their unique abilities to the mission. Captain Jin entered the observation deck. "We're ready to depart, Ambassador Minji." Minji nodded. "Safe travels, Captain." As the Harmony moved away from Earth, Minji thought about how much had changed. Just over a year ago, humans didn't know they weren't alone in the galaxy. They didn't know their home was considered a deadly nightmare by most galactic species. They didn't know their normal, everyday abilities would seem like superpowers to others. Now humanity had found its place. Not as conquerors or threats, but as protectors. The very planet that had forced humans to become strong now gave them a unique role in the galaxy. The funny thing about death worlds, Minji said quietly to herself, is they teach you to value life more than anything else. As Earth faded from view, the ship's crew, human and alien together, prepared to face the unknown challenges of space. They were no longer divided by their different evolutionary paths. Instead, they were united by a new understanding. The harshest environments often forged the strongest alliances, and the galaxy's most feared death world had ultimately produced its most valuable guardians.